I think the only reason that they cast me in Pavitra Rishta was because I don't know. They thought that maybe I resemble a little like Ankita. So they wanted somebody, even though the plotline was that I am adopted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you about my first award that I got for Pavitra Rishta. I remember it was supposed to go to some other actress, but she did not come.
तो आपको मिल गया.
तो वो मुझे मिल गया था. I was so happy. I used to like get ready, दुपट्टे की साड़ी बना के. I used to do ramp walk in front of the mirror, look at myself and think, कौन सी एक्ट्रेस की तरह लगती हूँ मैं? I can't do this. ये बस दिखने में अच्छा लगता है टेलीविजन में. This is so hard. We were in Film City. चुभती जलती गर्मी. Outdoor shoot. like ये ऐसे करते हैं shooting. मुझसे नहीं हो सकता. I want to go back home. I still have those days when you know that small town girl creeps in and tells me that you are a misfit here, bro. How are you surviving?
Hi Asha.
Hi, how are you?
I am good. Welcome to After Our Season 4 powered by Catch.
Thank you.
You look lovely.
Thanks. I tried.
No, this was a good attempt and you've succeeded.
I have no.
Yeah.
Yay.
But very excited to have you. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. The weather is nice. I had good breakfast and
It's a good Sunday.
it's a good Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good Sunday to have a chat.
Yeah, it is.
Are you
It
feeling
is.
relaxed?
I'm feeling very relaxed. I am well rested. I slept for 10 hours, I think. I got a
Lucky.
nice massage yesterday evening. So I'm very well rested, feeling great.
Good, yeah. That's such a great vibe
Yeah.
and space to be in.
Yeah.
Okay, if you're feeling well rested, well slept,
Yeah. And
अच्छा breakfast किया है.
touch wood, I sleep a lot. वैसे
Hmm.
नींद की कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है लाइफ में तो
Stress में भी नींद आ जाती है.
हाँ
Hmm.
like it's okay मतलब I think about it and I tell to myself कि what can I do about it. If I can do something about, I journal usually if there is something that is bothering me. So I would do that, fix it, and then go off to sleep because I don't like कि you know there is something else that is holding power over me or
Almost
my
holding you hostage, na, emotionally.
exactly. I don't like it. So I usually sit, I journal, I meditate, and speak to my friends. And if I can figure something out, great. If I cannot, तो ठीक है, सो जाओ.
Nonetheless, so जाओ.
सो
Why
जाओ.
not?
Yeah.
You know, I was very intrigued because obviously when we were doing our research, I realized you're Miss Uttarakhand.
Oh, yeah.
You're a pageant girl.
Yeah, I am.
Tell us a little about that experience back in 2009. If I'm not wrong, 2009.
2009 it was, and I remember I was doing my college और DAV college है देहरादून में. So I used to go whenever हम college जाते नहीं थे ऐसे, only used to go for exams, like exams देने के लिए. So I remember this one time I saw a hoarding. This girl was from my school. And you know, seeing her on that hoarding for Miss Uttarakhand was like, wow, like she was the first Miss Uttarakhand that was organized in Dehradun. So that really inspired me. Her name is Avantika Mohan, and I saw her and I was like, wow, like you know, she can do it, even I can do it, and I would love to go ahead and try it out. And I remember this one time we went to college for exam or something, और रास्ते में हम जूस पीने के लिए रुक जाते थे एक शॉप में. वहाँ पे ना वो पैम्पलेट पड़े रहते थे
एप्लीकेशन के लिए.
या एंड ये मिस उत्तराखंड का पड़ा था. एंड आई गॉट इट होम एंड आई टोल्ड माई पेरेंट्स. तो उनका ये था हाँ पता नहीं क्या करती रहती है. तो ठीक है, दे डिड नॉट टेक मी सीरियसली. एंड देन आई पार्टिसिपेटेड, आई गॉट सिलेक्टेड. देन yeah, I mean that journey happened. I won Miss Uttarakhand. हाँ न्यूज़पेपर में नाम आया. एंड
होर्डिंग पे आया फोटो.
होर्डिंग पे आया था, आई थिंक कुछ टाइम बाद आया था. आई रिमेम्बर, याद नहीं है मुझे अभी ढंग से, बट that happened. And then हाँ family भी was like हाँ ठीक है. But then when I told them I want to go to Bombay that's when everyone was like, पागल है क्या? Like
हाँ,
ये सब
मतलब
ठीक है.
देहरादून से अकेले बॉम्बे जाना
Hmm.
just to try your luck.
Yeah, and हमारे घर मतलब घर में रहते हुए ये सब कर रही है तो वो सब चलो ठीक है. बॉम्बे जाएगी कोई भी नहीं है वहाँ पे तो मतलब दूर दूर तक कोई नहीं है. So then I had another school friend of mine. She was already doing some work here, and then I started talking to her, and she really motivated me and inspired me and gave me that confidence that I can come to Bombay, and she is there for me. So, and she also gave me an idea how it works. She goes for auditions and stuff. So when that happened, I spoke to her. I used to speak to her very regularly. I told my parents, nobody was agreeing at all. Sisters, I have 2 elder sisters. वो तो मतलब बात ही मत करो इस बारे में. And then I remember, and then I realized, okay, ऐसे नहीं मानने वाले हैं ये लोग. I will have to make them realize this is serious. So
Emotionally blackmail करना पड़ेगा.
Exactly. So I remember not eating for 2 days. And रूम में पड़ी थी बस रो रही थी. So then my mom, she came up to me and then she spoke to me and उनका थोड़ा दिल पिघला पहले.
मम्मियों का दिल थोड़ा जल्दी पिघलता है.
And पता है, you know, even though they are mothers, they are so sensitive. So like मुझे नहीं लगता माँ से ज्यादा प्यार कोई करता है और उनसे ज्यादा केयरिंग कोई होता है.
I agree.
But फिर भी I don't know how and where they get that strength from, that they let their child, the youngest one, I am the youngest, that she let me come to Mumbai. Like she then convinced my father. मेरी दोनों बहनें नहीं मान रही थी तो मैंने बोला छोड़ो तुम, वो वैसे भी वहाँ रहती नहीं थी तो लाइक ठीक है मम्मी पापा मान गए मैं जा रही हूँ. So then it was my mother who initiated this and spoke to my father, convinced him. And then Miss Uttarakhand के जो एक organizer मेरे sir थे, Dalip sir, he came up to my parents and he also kind of convinced them, told them, don't worry, there are other girls as well and they are, you know, doing decent. So let her go and नहीं कुछ हुआ तो she'll come back. और तब मुझे खुद के टिकट्स बुक करना भी नहीं आता था. So he booked a flight ticket for me. And then I came. I had this friend Karishma here. She helped me out. We used to go for auditions together. And
what was the first audition you cracked?
Pizza Hut.
Oh.
And they told me that I got shortlisted. And I thought I got selected. And I told everybody at home.
मैं तो आ रही हूँ.
कि मैं तो select हो गई. Pizza Hut के ad में select हो गई. And then later they called me and they're like, नहीं हुआ हाँ वो. So like, what do you mean? I was shortlisted.
Oh,
yeah.
So you assumed that you're doing it, but
I'm
वो
doing
और लोग
it.
भी थे.
Exactly. So they shortlist people and then they tell them कि keep your dates blocked because you might get selected. But वो नहीं हुआ. And I remember that was my first that मुझे लगा यार कुछ तो बात है मुझ में. पहला audition दिया. Select हो गई. वाह.
इसीलिए तो मैं आई थी देहरादून से.
इसीलिए मैं आई थी. So then yeah, that did not happen. But
फिर उसके बाद what was the one that happened?
I think there was somebody who told me कि it's not that easy to, because my mindset was that I'm only going to do ads or films. Television वगैरह नहीं करना है मुझे. पता नहीं क्या confidence था. And कुछ सीख के भी नहीं आई थी. No theater, no acting workshop. I have no idea what confidence that was.
Youth. It's called youth.
Or maybe destiny, because you know then things worked out within a month.
Within a month?
Yeah.
You got your first gig within a month?
Yeah.
Amazing.
So is why I now feel कि maybe वो destiny में होगा इसलिए फटाफट मुझे आना होगा and ये सब होना होगा. So yeah, and then I remember somebody told me कि it's not that easy. I think you should try auditioning for television also. So yeah, I started auditioning and then I got my first cameo on a television soap. I think Sapno Se Bhare Naina on Star Plus. It used to come in the afternoon slot. So that happened. It was very bad. It was a month cameo for a month. And I got done in like 10 days because it was really bad. So
You
and
were bad or the show was bad?
I was bad.
Okay,
I
okay.
did not know anything.
Yeah. हाँ तो
Anything.
जब कोई रिहर्सल या प्रैक्टिस ही नहीं करी है
Yeah,
तो कैसे
nothing.
आएगा? वो तो सीख के ही आता है ना फिर.
Yeah, exactly. So then that happened. Then उसके बाद I did one ad, like a hand modeling kind of thing, only hands required. So I did that because खर्चा चलाना होता
हाँ,
है.
of course.
कितना तुम घर वालों से मांगोगे? That happened. Then I kept auditioning for television, and then I remember बड़े अच्छे लगते हैं happened. So that was a cameo. I had a great time because that was a very like beautiful journey for me because I learned a lot there.
That was a very loved show. I think just
It
Ram Kapoor and
was.
Sakshi together were just amazing.
It was. Yeah, and I remember I was again a newcomer. But the way Sakshi ma'am and Ram Kapoor, whenever I used to have scenes with them, of course I used to fumble. I used to forget my lines. I was a bad actor then, but they were so supportive, yaar.
How do you think you were getting hired even though you believe you were a bad actor?
I swear, I don't. Maybe I had that Indian face that, or maybe it's just destiny. कि जब होना होता है तो कैसे भी हो जाता है. That's when I feel destiny plays a part.
When did you start believing you were getting good?
After I went through a failure.
Which was?
Pavitra Rishta was over. I did a couple of reality shows, and I was feeling very impatient because I was so used to working, going on set every day. So I wanted to do something, like keep doing something and not sit at home. So I remember एक दो shows आए थे, television shows, and I did एक महीने में बंद. फिर दूसरा वाला I did एक महीने में बंद. That was like
now what?
Like, is this the time when actors just like vanish? You watch somebody in a show and then you don't see them anymore. Is this the time that I have to like pack my bags and go back home? So bahut aisa, and self-doubt. I got depressed, and but then I think that phase really taught me a lot. I took a break from acting. I did a couple of acting workshops. I watched a lot of good cinema. Tao I think Netflix, Prime, all these channels were coming. So I watched some really good cinema. I did workshops, and that's when I feel I grew as an actor. And the motive that I had when I came from Dehradun was to just like chase glamour and become a heroine and become famous. But uske baad I felt slowly, after the failure happened, I fell in love with my art, my craft. And it became more about
excellence.
Like doing meaningful work.
Yeah.
And challenging myself as an actor. Yeah, that's when I really, really fell in love with my art.
But do you think you were good in Pavitra Rishta? No.
I was bad.
You were bad.
I was bad. I used to fumble. I used to forget my lines.
But वो तो set पे होगा ना. उसका end result में तो fumble थोड़ी catch करेंगे. वो edit में तो ठीक ही होगा.
हाँ, edit में तो ठीक ही था. But अभी भी जब मैं देखती हूँ तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि how? I think the only reason that they cast me in Pavitra Rishta was because, I don't know, they thought that maybe I resemble a little like Ankita. So they wanted somebody, even though the plot line was that I am adopted.
Yeah.
But they wanted
कुछ
somebody.
और ही होगा आशा. That can't be the only reason ना कि you look a little like Ankita जब वो story में ही नहीं है.
I don't know. मतलब लेकिन
maybe you were not as bad as you think you were.
Yeah, maybe I was not. And also, bachpan se I had this confidence that I am made for, like to...
The screen.
For the screen. I was crazy. I used to like get ready, dupatte ki sari bana ke. I used to do ramp walk in front of the mirror, look at myself and think, kaun si actress ki tarah lagti hu main? Yeah, all that I used to do. Yeah. Matlab, and in fact, before coming to Mumbai, I even went to Bangalore and Dubai. My sister was there, and I tried doing like a 9 to 5. But nahi hua wo mujhse. That was not my cup of tea, and I realized that I am not made for this.
Hmm.
Is when I took the decision कि चलो यार जाने दो, 3 महीने दे दो मुझे, nothing happens, I'll come back.
Hmm. पर वो
Yeah.
3 महीने में कुछ तो दाल गल गई फिर.
हाँ, like I remember I came on 2nd April, and 22nd April is when I got my first show, the 10 days cameo.
Hmm.
Yeah, so then family also saw me on television. They were all like, चलो.
कुछ तो कर रही है.
Yeah.
हो जाएगा.
हो रहा है, कुछ तो हो
कुछ
रहा
तो
है.
हो रहा है.
Yeah,
मतलब she'll survive.
she'll survive.
But Asha, tell me something. Like a lot of young girls like you know, from let's say cities like Dehradun, um, have come to Bombay because you know they've gotten some confidence from let's say pageants. Today, when you look back, and I ask you this because our own opinion of things also evolves over time.
Hmm.
Do you see pageants as something that motivates people, or do you see pageants as कि हम beauty को बहुत limited नज़र से देख रहे हैं?
I'll give you my personal experience because I feel that Miss Uttarakhand really worked as a stepping stone in my journey. अगर वो नहीं होता तो direct that jump to Mumbai wouldn't have happened.
Agree. That's what I'm saying. मतलब ये तो
Yeah.
see whether it's for Priyanka Chopra,
Yeah.
Sushmita Sen, all of them
Yeah.
have been like pageant girls, right?
Correct.
And they've made it so big and they're doing so well.
Yeah.
So I do understand that it's a great platform. But somewhere do you feel like it limits women to just outside beauty?
Personally, I don't know. I mean, I don't think so because I also feel during that journey of Miss Uttarakhand pageant, I also learned a lot. Otherwise, उससे पहले I used to go to school, bus खत्म, college, okay, bus. I did not get a taste of the outer world until
Exposure,
then, that
basically.
exposure until then. And only when I joined this pageant is when I met so many girls from, different parts of Dehradun, Uttarakhand. Some had come from like places like Haldwani, Rishikesh, all these places. And like, spending those days, those months with them, and we also, of course, had grooming coaches, a lot of things. So I feel it just helps you get
Grow.
out of your shell and, yeah, I mean, work on yourself and groom yourself and be ready for the next step. I would say like that's how it worked for me. Yeah.
You didn't feel objectified by the process.
No, I did not. In fact, it gave me a lot of confidence because a small town girl, who just dreams big but hasn't really done anything related to it. This was like, it gave me wings to fly and come to Mumbai. That's how it worked for me.
But tell me something, like back then, like you were so young when you were doing that pageant. What were you feeling like? Did you have any insecurities when you saw these other girls? And how did you get over it then? Because as you're saying, exposure was limited. तो आसपास तो और भी ऐसे लोग होंगे जिनका शायद ज़्यादा होगा. So how does a young girl kind of cope with that?
I'll be honest, if like अभी सोच रही हूँ ना तो ऐसा लग रहा है, I don't know, there was some immense confidence that I had at that point. In fact, even today when I think of that girl who participated in that pageant, who came all the way to Bombay, I can't relate because I feel I don't have that level of confidence now, that level of strength now.
But I think when you've not failed, तो हमेशा
There is
confident तो होते हो ना. You have nothing to lose also.
Nothing to lose.
अब तो you've built your career, so you feel like there's something to lose. You can't be reckless.
Exactly.
You can't take big risks because उसका, जो repercussion है, that can be heavy to bear.
Exactly. But yes, I mean, the pageant was quite helpful for my journey. It gave me wings. It gave me all the confidence. I don't remember the exact details, how those months, those days went. But yes, of course, little insecurity, little jealousy, and yeah, all these things. Of course, and I remember being from Dehradun, and ghar pe you don't speak a lot of English. That used to be one big, what do you call it, hurdle.
तो
I
बॉम्बे
feel
आके कैसे किया फिर अकेले?
it was very difficult initially, I remember, and in fact I learned it in all these years, slowly and gradually built that confidence. As I said, there was some confidence that I had कि मैं कर लूंगी, मेरा कुछ तो हो जाएगा, and I'm made for this. That fire was there, and that fire that helped me come to Mumbai, ladai jhagda sab karke. But yes, this was one. I still have those days when that small town girl creeps in and tells me that you are a misfit here, bro. How are you surviving?
You still feel like a misfit after all these years?
Yeah, I still. But now what has happened is, I think it comes with age and experience, that, and also a lot of security, that um, that no matter what it is, like
हो जाएगा.
ho jayega, and um, till the time you are confident about yourself, and till the time you have clarity, you know where you are going, where you came from, and what you want in life, it is okay to be a misfit. And maybe you are not a misfit, you just feel you're a misfit, and you just sometimes feel that you don't fit in situations, and it is okay to not try to fit yourself in those situations, to have your own tribe, to have your own people. And I think that's the most important thing. With through all these years, is what I've learned is, you need to have your close ones, real ones, your own tribe, and be unapologetic about it. Don't try go pleasing people to fit in.
पर जब आप ऑडिशंस दे रहे हो और मतलब चाहे वो टेलीविजन हो या एनी काइंड ऑफ सॉर्ट ऑफ प्लेटफॉर्म हो, चाहे वो उस टाइम तो ओटीटी ऑब्वियसली था नहीं, तो आई एम गेसिंग टीवी एंड फिल्म वर द ओनली टू मीडियम्स व्हिच वर मोस्ट पॉपुलर ना, एड्स, टीवी, फिल्म, soaps. But you also know there is an element of nepotism. You also know there's an element of casting couch. How are you not scared?
See, that's what I'm saying. When that security comes, no, I think nepotism is a part of every industry. It's just that because you can see it here a lot of times.
But that's
in
because
other,
इतने लोगों को बाकी चीजें करनी नहीं है ना. People don't mind nepotism, let's say in businesses.
yeah, but
क्योंकि ऐसे तो है नहीं कि सबको स्टील पाइप बनानी है.
acting,
But actor तो
everybody,
सबको
yeah,
बनना है ना.
I get it, and I think I feel maybe अगर कल मेरा बेटा बेटी जो भी होगा, and if he or she wants to become an actor also,
मदद तो करोगे.
of course. So I think that is something that we can't really do anything about. It is there, and it will be there. Just like keep keep that focus in your own lane, walk on your own lane, and try getting better with each passing day, with each project that you're doing. Get your tribe, know who your real ones are, your people, keep them close, keep working on your craft. I still go for acting workshops, and I love it. I go and I do these classes with people who are just starting. So it is so nice, and it's so refreshing. In fact, now I've started making friends like that. People who are just starting. That rawness, that freshness is something that I miss. And I love it when I spend time with them. And I've made so many friends like that in my acting workshops. So I feel just pay attention in your own journey, on your in your own path. Keep bettering yourself. Keep manifesting.
But like Asha, how would you tell a young girl जो किसी छोटे शहर से बॉम्बे आने के सपने देख रही है कि वो ये situations को कैसे करेगी confront? Like let's say she's propositioned, जो होता है, you also spoken about it. Those kind of bad experiences with people where they ask for sort of favors. How should that girl protect herself?
Yeah, that's what I said. That you need to know who your real ones are, and keep them close. Also, I feel I had friends here, like as I said, my schoolmate who really helped me get an idea of how it works, and I used to go audition with her. So I'm hoping, like, if you have people like that in Mumbai or in the industry, just like keep them close, or even if you don't have people, dream. Please don't stop dreaming. And um, like अगर वो मन में है ना वो चीज that you want to do something here and you want to come to Mumbai, please fight for it and do not stop and come, give your best, do a lot of hard work, stay away from creeps.
बट वो ही तो कैसे करें, क्रीप्स तो हर जगह ही है ना, ये तो
Yeah.
सारी लड़कियां यही
See,
कहानी
I'll give you
बताती हैं.
my example. I met people initially and I knew this is not the, like nobody's gonna force you.
Hmm.
People are just going to try to brainwash you. But if you are clear, if you know that you don't want to do something like that to get work, just be clear about it and tell them that no, I'm not interested. That's all. Nobody's gonna force you into it. But be very clear, be very secure, be very confident that you are going to keep working, you're going to do hard work, and you're going to find what you are searching for, and you're gonna do great work. Yeah, that's what I feel.
Because I just feel like while all of this is true, I think in moments of vulnerability, जब नहीं होता आप में वो self confidence, तो कभी कभी किसी भी छोटी लड़की को who is impressionable ये लग सकता है कि maybe this is the only way to kind of survive in Bombay. होता है कुछ लोगों के साथ
A
ऐसे.
lot of times people fall into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that is not the way, guys. I mean, I feel there's no point doing it. And in fact, it's just wrong. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Ki
I think it's wrong more of the people who are even suggesting it. It's the worst.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
And people will try to brainwash you.
Yeah.
Okay, people will try to misuse your vulnerability and weak moments and try to tell you कि ऐसे ही होता है और कोई तो तरीका नहीं है. And they'll give you false examples also a lot of times.
ऐसे बोलते हैं कि इसने भी ऐसे किया था.
Yeah. Of
इन्होंने
course,
compromise करा था.
Yeah, exactly. And some very famous television names were taken. And I know ऐसा कुछ नहीं हुआ होगा. Like, but people just want to like convince you anyhow. And they will try to misuse your vulnerability, your weak moments. They'll tell you all sorts of things, but you have to be confident. You have to have that strength and be clear. Why did you come here? And this is not the right way.
Yeah.
I mean, whether you are in this industry or wherever, you want to work hard, you want to be honest to your work, and like I just feel this is not the way, this is not the right way for it.
Yeah, no, I agree, I completely agree.
Yeah.
And I feel very bad for women who kind of are young and impressionable और फिर उनके साथ कुछ ऐसा होता है and then for life they're sort of not just regretting it but feeling bad about it for themselves and feeling used and stuff like that. I think it's very unfortunate.
It is. I feel you need to have that from the start.
Boundaries होनी चाहिए.
Boundaries होनी चाहिए that if nothing works out, you're going to do like a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
You will survive somehow, but not do that.
I think if we have more women in like powerful positions in industries like these, ये शायद कम होना शुरू हो जाए. But I think क्योंकि सारी positions of power largely men ही occupy करते हैं, तो इसीलिए ये होता रहता है.
Yeah, that also could be the case, but I also feel there are creeps everywhere. There are such losers everywhere. तो अगर suppose 50-50 भी हो women and men, then उसमें से भी कुछ निकलेंगे. Like I feel it's not about the gender. There might be women also who you never know doing such things. And they will do. I feel a lot of people have done it, and even after the entire Me Too situation, a lot of people have not learned. You be strong. You stand your own ground. You be confident about your journey and not fall into this.
I think a person who is hugely admired in the television industry for kind of really holding her own and building something significant is Ekta Kapoor.
Yeah.
I think that she pretty much is like the boss of this
television
space.
Yeah.
What is your relationship with her like? I know you've kind of worked with her. Of course, you've done work for All Balaji also. How would you describe Ekta Kapoor?
Yeah, I used to be very scared of her initially. I remember when I was very
She can
new.
be intimidating. She looks intimidating.
Yeah, initially I used to be, and in fact, I remember there was this one time we met at a party, and I told her, I confessed this to her, and she's like, "Arey, why?" honestly, she's really sweet, and I'm very fond of her.
Hmm.
And whenever we meet for her Ganpati, Diwali, or whatever, it's always fun to be around her. She's a lot of fun. Uh, and of course, I really admire, I really respect the niche that she has created. And कितने सारे लोग उनकी वजह से
उनको एम्प्लॉयमेंट मिली है.
एम्प्लॉयमेंट मिली है. आई मीन, एंड फ्रॉम years and years.
Yeah.
लाइक जब हम छोटे बच्चे भी थे तो ऑल दोस शोज, कहानी घर घर की,
I think
कसौटी जिंदगी
पूरे
की.
स्टार प्लस लार्जली
Yeah.
के आधे ज्यादा स्लॉट्स तो वर बालाजी
Yeah.
प्रोडक्शंस ओनली.
Yeah, that's what, like, so many people getting so much employment and uh, getting famous. I still get recognized as Purvi from Pavitra Rishta. So can you imagine, like,
After all these years.
after all these years, I've done so much work after Pavitra Rishta, but majorly I've been recognized as Purvi by people, and I feel good about it.
Yeah.
Ki, what?
But I think it's not just you. I think Ankita Lokhande ke sath bhi same hi hai. She's done a lot of work,
Yeah.
but she's still most
Yeah.
recognized as Pavitra.
Yeah. Sometimes it also backfires because when you're like trying to create an image as an actor,
Yeah.
just an actor, people still relate it to the character that you have played in those daily soaps.
हाँ,
And
because वो तो believe करने लग जाते हैं आप वही हो.
yeah, and it also becomes very difficult to break that image, yeah, because you want to do different kind of work, right?
I'm sure Urvashi ढोलकिया के लिए everyone perceives her
Yeah.
as a villain only. वो
Kumolika.
होंगी बहुत अच्छी. But वो मतलब लोग उनको कुमोलिका जैसी
Yeah.
देखते हैं unfortunately. और उनको दिखती है अपने घर की बहू and साक्षी तन्वर and
Yeah, Ankita Lokhande.
and Ankita Lokhande and all of
Yeah.
these people.
Yeah.
So I think the hold that television had back in the day was just like people
Yeah.
really resonated with the characters.
They
तो वो
did.
इसीलिए OTT में क्योंकि अब content इतना सारा आ गया है ना,
Exactly.
तो वो memorability थोड़ी सी कम हो
कम
जाती
हो
है.
जाती है. People have so much option, right?
Hmm.
They don't have the patience to like, अच्छा ठीक है आज ये आया है एपिसोड में और वो मर गया है, बट कल पता चलेगा कि वो मरा है कि नहीं मरा है.
हाँ.
People don't have
Yeah. अभी
that much
बताओ.
पेशेंस की कल तक वेट करेंगे हम. अब वो उस टाइम की बात वो अलग ही थी.
वो अलग
मजा
थी.
आता था.
I think तब के TV stars जो थे
Yeah.
really sort of enjoyed
True.
pretty sort of intense popularity. I
Yeah.
don't think that'll ever happen again.
I don't think so.
I doubt.
Yeah.
In the age of the internet and
Yeah.
OTT, it's
I
gonna
also
happen
feel very
again.
fortunate that I was a part of television when it was
Booming.
Yes.
Yeah.
We traveled so much through that show
कोई
because of Pavitra Rishta.
अब weird सी हमें ये TV awards की कोई स्टोरी सुनाओ.
Yeah.
स्टार परिवार टाइप के जो होते थे,
हाँ.
क्योंकि देखते तो सभी थे, but it was all scripted. बचपन में जब मैं देखती थी मुझे पता ही नहीं था कि सब कुछ scripted होता है.
Yeah, I'll tell you about my first award that I got for Pavitra Rishta. मैं नाम नहीं लूंगी, of course, awards का, वो जो कौन से awards है, but I remember it was supposed to go to some other actress, but she did not come. तो
आपको मिल गया.
तो वो मुझे मिल गया था. I was so happy. Oh my God, I think I was very new in Pavitra Rishta at that point, and I got my first award. What? तो मतलब मुझे तो समझ ही नहीं आया मेरे साथ क्या हुआ है ये.
तो बेसिकली सारे अवार्ड फंक्शंस लाइक इट्स इम्प्रोव कि जो आया उसको दे दो, ऐसे होता है.
नहीं, मतलब दे प्री डिसाइडेड, एंड अगर इन केस ऐसा कुछ हो जाता है तो जो अवेलेबल है दिख रहा है वहां पे है कोई तो yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Imagine. But you were excited nonetheless.
I was in cloud 9. First award यार.
हाँ, ठीक है. How old were you?
Must be 22.
अरे तब तो क्यों नहीं होगी excitement?
Yeah.
You may think differently now, but तब तो होएगी excitement.
Yeah.
कैसे भी मिले अवार्ड तो
नहीं नहीं, अभी भी होगी यार अवार्ड की तो. ज्यादा अवार्ड मिले नहीं है मुझे लाइफ में, बट यार.
But I don't think कि वो तभी तो होते थे, उसके बाद से तो ऐसे कुछ मेजर हो नहीं रहा है
ना. आई थिंक वो जो उस टाइम पे जी अवार्ड, स्टार प्लस के कुछ ना कुछ.
स्टार परिवार होता था एक तो.
स्टार परिवार. मुझे ट्यून याद आ गई उसकी, as I'm saying the name. And a lot of times we used to meet other actors from like we used to do पवित्र रिश्ता on ZTV, तो उसके जो बाकी shows हैं उनके जो actors होते थे
हाँ,
वो महासंगम होता था जिसमें हम सब मिलते थे और shoot
और
कर रहे
स्टोरी
होते
लाइन्स को वो ऐसे
या
जॉइन करते थे, कुछ तो कोई मल्टीवर्स क्रिएट करते थे उसका।
yeah,
The
that
multiverse
used
of
to
Z
happen.
shows.
Yeah, but it used to be a lot of fun because then you end up meeting other actors from other shows and then you become friends. Yeah.
How was it working with Ankita Lokhande?
It was good. I remember initially when I was very new, she was quite supportive and like वो ऐसी है कि अच्छा ठीक है हम नए बच्चे आए हैं in the show and she used to like take us home and kind of take care of us. So it was nice.
I think she and Sushant will probably go down in history as one of the most loved television couples.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, and like it's so unfortunate, but you know, Sushant is like still so loved.
Yeah.
And you know, like everybody felt that loss very, very personally.
Very personal. It was very personal for everybody.
Because, you know, he was just phenomenal. And I think the way he even made his way to mainstream films and he was doing so well.
Such a good actor.
Such a good actor. Such a good actor. And such good chemistry, the both of them also.
Oh my God, yes.
Very, very watchable.
We entered the show when he had quit. So we did not have like direct, you know, that bond that you have when you are working in a show. Hiten sir had joined before us. He was playing
He's also
Manas.
a great actor, yeah.
Oh, so what a sweetheart. I mean, itne
again, very popular from that time.
Yeah. Which show was it that he...
I want to say
Kutum.
Kutum?
I think Kutum was the show
Didn't
that...
he come in Kyunki also for a bit?
Yeah. He was a
Little
Balaji, this thing.
He was, I think, the guy who came back as the dead... Once the person died, like they would come back and Hiten would be that guy.
He used to say that you know become the replacement king of Balaji.
Yeah.
I now remember.
Yes. I don't know why I feel, and I could be confusing the K serials, but जब भी कोई main male character मरता था show में, तो वो face उसका जो भी surgery, plastic surgery करके वो हितेन ही वापस आते थे.
Yeah, right.
Great days.
Yeah, great days.
Absurd storylines.
I swear. Now when I think of it, it feels like a different lifetime only. And I remember like because I was new, I got the shows and just working, used to just keep working 12 hours, 14 hours. वो ऐसे वो जो taste होता है ना fame का and stardom का उस time पे वो feel ही नहीं किया हमने because अब इतना काम में घुसे पड़े रहते हैं. That's how television is.
Yeah. But does it pay well? Does it pay you well?
Like when I still get offers from television, तो एक हल्का सा लालच आता है to like go back. But then I remind myself कि you know it's a long commitment and also the creative satisfaction that you feel in OTT, quality work that happens, वो थोड़ा compromise हो जाता है.
But पैसे उतने अच्छे मिलते हैं OTT में?
नहीं. Like if I do television, I would earn more. Yeah, but then you have to make your choice. That clarity.
But that's a tough one, huh? Like, of course, I'm sure you're tempted by the money.
I do get tempted every time.
Yeah. It's a tough call to make.
Yeah.
Mana karte rehna. But what are you looking forward to doing like right now? Outside of course, we know something new that's coming up. Do you want to tell us about it?
Oh, yes. So I'm a part of Criminal Justice. We all know a lot of people have watched it.
Of course.
A lot of people are fan of the show. Pankaj Tripathi.
Pankaj Tripathi. Let's talk about Pankaj Tripathi. Let's take a moment and talk about the legend that is Pankaj Tripathi.
Yeah. So I did not have any direct scenes in this show because मैं मर जाती हूँ. So of course case लड़ रहे हैं तो. But I have worked with him in Ludo. And we had I think one scene together in Ludo. And it was nice.
What is his vibe like?
His vibe is so simple. So grounded. Like, you know, that is what is so beautiful about actors like him. And then, you know, I also worked with Zishan Ayub.
Yeah.
In Criminal
He's an incredible actor.
Oh my God, a phenomenal actor.
I loved him in Ranjana also.
Oh yeah.
Tanu Ad's Manu Returns, I think he was in.
One of
Scoop, yes. With Karishma Danna.
What an actor.
What an actor.
And so
Rais.
Rais also. I
Yeah.
don't remember, but okay. But that is what is so beautiful about these actors like Zishan, Pankaj sir, is that they are so good,
Yeah.
but they don't make a big deal out of it. They are like, when you work with them, they're just so simple, so
Hmm.
easy, so effortless. And it's so beautiful to work with them. Like I had, even though like I did not have scenes with Pankaj sir,
Hmm.
I did have a lot of scenes with Zishan
Hmm.
and some really difficult, challenging ones. But and when you come from television, a lot of times that self doubt creeps in कि मेरा टीवी निकल गया तो कि क्योंकि इतने साल टीवी किया है, बट उसके बाद यस ऑफ कोर्स आई हैव डन अ लॉट ऑफ
क्योंकि
वर्क.
वो फॉर्म और मीडियम ही बहुत अलग है.
हाँ,
I
and
love how you're like मेरे अंदर का टीवी निकल गया तो
seriously,
explain that a little more. Like how would TV Asha be and how is OTT Asha?
so TV Asha that I used to be back then was very, जो एक होती है ना रिएक्शंस वैसे देने वाली, जो जिसको हम टीवी एक्टिंग बोलते हैं यार. एंड पता है क्या, अभी भी आई फील वो इतना अंदर घुसा हुआ है ना कि इवन दो आई हैव बिकम अ मच बेटर एक्टर एंड हैव आई हैव बिकॉज ऑल्सो आई लर्न all about acting in television.
Yeah.
I did not have any
Formal training.
any
Hmm.
training before that. So I have unlearned a lot, but and I'm still doing it. But वो अंदर इतना imbibed है ना कि like आपकी कंडीशनिंग ऐसी होती है, आपको बचपन में कुछ कराया जाता है तो वो आपके अंदर ऐसा लगता है दिस इज अ
हाँ, बस
पर्सनैलिटी,
जाता है वो.
बस जाता है कि आपको कहीं ना कहीं वो डर लगा रहता है कि आई एम स्टिल अ टीवी एक्टर, आई स्टिल एक्ट लाइक हाउ आई यूज्ड टू एक्ट during my television days. Even if you've become much better, you have evolved as an actor, you have unlearned a lot of things, but still that creeps in, that
Yeah.
self-doubt creeps in, and it happens with me so many times. I think I'm confessing this for the first time on camera, but it happens so much.
अंदर का टीवी निकल आता है.
And also because people see you as a television actor. So you then start believing you're a television actor. You act like that. And maybe
It's more
people,
performative ना. I think television acting
it
is more
is more,
performative.
yeah,
थोड़ी louder होती है.
louder होती है, honest भी नहीं होती शायद. Because अब समझ में आ रहा है ना, when I work with, like I recently did an acting workshop with Atul Mongia, and तब समझ में आता है how honest, like I was not honest back then. I was just like doing it for the audience, for the camera. I was not feeling it.
Yeah.
But now when you do such amazing acting workshops and with experience, you realize it does make a difference when you are honest with what the character is feeling. So it makes a lot of difference. But with Zishan, as I said, I was doing scenes, and I remember this one day we were not supposed to do those two scenes. We were supposed to shoot something else, and because of some technical issue we had to do those two scenes. और वो अभी आए और उन्होंने बोला अभी थोड़ी देर में शूट करने हैं and पैकअप भी होने वाला है, तो we don't have much time and we have to like quickly do. This is the first thing that creeped in कि मेरा टीवी तो नहीं निकल जाएगा, लाइक मैं टेलीविजन वाला वो तो नहीं कर दूंगी बिकॉज मेरे पास अभी फिलहाल
I don't have the
टाइम भी नहीं है.
tools. हाँ.
या अभी फिलहाल मेरे पास टाइम भी नहीं है टू सिट ऑन द सीन, वर्क, हाउ एम आई गोइंग टू डू इट एंड ऑल दैट. एंड देन वी डिड इट and it went well. So that also helps you give a little bit confidence ki listen,
You
don't
know it.
overthink, you
हाँ.
know it. Yeah, don't
Dialoguing.
yeah.
Have you become less confident over the years or more confident over the years?
Less.
Less? Why so?
I think less confident in will it work out, how is the future going to be, where am I going, but more secure and more confident personally.
You are more confident in who you are and less confident about what if everything around you doesn't support that.
Yeah, but I also feel through all these years, like now I'm like in my mid-30s, ये जो पिछले 4-5 साल हैं, इसमें I was very lost in my late 20s,
Hmm.
but these last 2-3 years, especially like post COVID,
Yeah.
I believe in doing a lot of self work
Hmm.
personally, and also, of course, when it comes to my craft. So that has really been helping in making me become secure as a person, and I think also it most of the times it shows in the actor that I am.
Hmm.
Yeah, like there are moments like as I told you with Zishan how it happened because he's so good.
He's so good.
तो
He's
तो मैं
too
ऐसे,
good.
yeah, he's so good. But then when I overcame that feeling and I did those scenes, I had a different kind of high, and
Hmm.
I gained a little bit of confidence from that experience. That okay, stop doubting yourself so much. You can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How do you feel you've evolved personally through your 20s and 30s? Like you said, you had like your late 20s, you were a little lost.
yeah.
What has changed
Uh,
from then to now? Outside of the work that you've done, what has changed in you? Who were you then? Who are you now?
yeah, I was very lost in my 20s, I would say. Early 20s was had a lot of fire, a lot of confidence कि कर लूंगी, कर लो दुनिया मुट्ठी में.
Hmm.
And when I came to Mumbai, and early 20s also went in a lot of work. I started doing television and working. Then my the second half of my 20s, yeah, I was lost.
Hmm.
I um Of course, I did not have a lot of clarity. I was lost. I
Personally, professionally,
both.
both.
Yeah. वो होता है ना कि पता नहीं क्या चाहिए लाइफ से.
Hmm.
नहीं है clarity. It was that in my late 20s. And I think then things changed once I turned 30.
Yeah, I've had a very similar experience, I have to confess.
है ना?
Yeah. It was
It,
quite a turning point.
even though you're petrified when you're like 28, 29 कि यार 1-2 साल में अब 30 के हो जाएंगे.
और वहाँ
30.
तो है ही नहीं जहाँ पे सोचा था 30 के
Yeah,
होने पे होना है.
exactly. 30?
Yeah, I get
30
it.
sounded like one monster that
Yeah.
you just don't want to like
Encounter.
encounter. But I remember, in fact, my 29th birthday was a mess. I was a mess. I was crying कि next year I'm going to be 30. The 30th one was beautiful. I was in the mountains. And उसके बाद post 30, like the first half of my 30, I'm 35 now. So the first half has only been about evolving, growing, getting more clarity, and being more secure,
Making peace with who you are.
making peace with who you are, becoming more wiser. I don't know why we used to be so petrified with our 30s.
Yeah, I think 30s are great.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. And every woman who is in her 30s has said the same thing.
है ना?
Literally the same. You can sit
Yeah.
across anyone and they've said, man, I've really loved my 30s.
Yeah.
Because it really made me embrace who I am. And once I made peace with it, I'm very happy.
Yeah. So, and I'm really enjoying my 30s. Of course, family, they don't ever stop in giving you
शादी
that
कर लो.
pressure. अब थोड़ा-थोड़ा मुझे लगता है गिव अप भी कर दिया उन लोगों ने.
I think 35 तक काफी Indian families are just like, हमने बहुत प्रेशर दे दिया है
दे दिया है,
और
yeah.
करना होता तो कर लेते.
Yeah.
अभी आई थिंक छोड़ ही दो क्योंकि क्या ही
Yeah.
फायदा.
Yeah. That's how they've become, and also I feel now they also see that ठीक है, she's happy.
खुश है.
Yeah, she's content, she's happy. So उनको भी लगता है, मैं उनको बताती भी हूँ कि भाई, like, do you want me to go ahead and marry the wrong guy
Yeah.
and then sulk and then call you guys कि गलती हो गई, like why did I do this and all that? नहीं ना. So then let me just, I'm happy, I'm content, let me be this until and unless I find the right guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. और
If it's
वैसे
meant to
भी,
be, it'll be.
yeah, and वैसे भी आजकल कितने लोग single हैं यार. I think a lot of people are single and they are happy being
पर
single.
लड़कों को नहीं दे रहा ना प्रेशर, लड़कियों को ही आ रहा है सारा 30 के ऊपर.
Yeah, हाँ, मतलब अब पता नहीं लड़कों
लाइक
को भी.
बैचलर्स ही हैं लड़के 40 पे भी.
Yeah.
लड़कियां हैं बेचारी.
Yeah, but I see a lot of friends from the
Hmm.
industry, my friends who are like in their late 30s, even they get the pressure from family.
लेट 20s में, मिड 20s में ही शुरू हो जाता है मुझे
Yeah.
लगता है लड़कियों पे प्रेशर
Yeah,
तो.
but I also feel आजकल 20s वाले कर रहे हैं शादी। ये जो मिलेनियल्स हैं
हाँ, हम रह गए।
हम रह गए ना। ठीक है।
I think I wouldn't have it any other way, honestly.
सेम
I don't think I would have it any other way.
सेम सेम
Because I don't know if I would even be this person
है ना?
if I had been married and I really like who this person is.
एग्जैक्टली
तो मतलब जो भी है अच्छा ही हुआ है ना।
या
मैं क्यों रहूं इस पे बैठ के?
एग्जैक्टली
मैं तो खुश ही
इमेजिन
हूँ।
या इमेजिन इफ आई वुड हैव टेकन दैट स्टेप इन माय 20s and then later realized
I'm not happy.
I'm not happy and I'm changing as a person and I can't be with this person. फिर और वो होता ना.
Hmm.
So then it's always better to like I wouldn't have it any
Better
other
late
way.
than sorry.
हाँ, better late than sorry.
Yeah.
And yeah, there are no regrets.
Yeah, same.
है
I
ना?
totally get what you're saying. I
Yeah.
get it. I feel the same way.
Yeah.
It feels great to be in this place, honestly.
Also, I think I want to change my statement when I said that I am less confident now
Hmm.
than before. I was unsure in my 20s. I was, even though there was a lot of fire, there was a lot of confidence कि आ गई बस मुंह उठा के बॉम्बे. There are certain kinds of fears.
आ गई बस मुंह उठा
हाँ
के
हाँ,
बॉम्बे।
that's how I came.
Yeah.
कुछ नहीं आ रहा था. I remember the first day of my shoot, I was like, I can't do this.
Hmm.
ये बस दिखने में अच्छा लगता है टेलीविजन में. This is so hard. We were in Film City. चुभती जलती गर्मी. आउटडोर शूट. मतलब ये ऐसे करते हैं शूटिंग. मुझसे नहीं हो सकता. I want to go back home.
और कितने रीटेक्स दिए आपने पहली बार?
Listen, retakes I don't remember, but I remember questioning my decision, my choices कि why am I doing this to myself? It was not easy
Hmm.
because
It
आप घर
can't
में
be यार, जो आता नहीं है वो पहली बार कर रहे हो तो।
पहली बार कर रहे हो and also घर पे बैठ के आप टीवी पे देखते हो सब अच्छा दिखता है.
Hmm.
But when you're shooting it अप्रैल की गर्मी में फिल्म सिटी में आउटडोर शूट धूप और मुझे टर्न होके हाय बोलना तक नहीं आ रहा है. सोचो. And then everybody starts taking you for granted.
Hmm.
कोई भी हो कि अरे यार
इसको तो आता नहीं है।
इसको नहीं आता है. So those were extremely difficult days for me and somehow I finished that shoot in like 10 days. And I remember taking it one day at a time because every morning I used to wake up and question it and think, I can't do it. I don't want to go on set. I want to go back home. But then somehow हिम्मत करके रेडी होके जाती थी, करती थी.
Did you cringe at what you saw when you saw your performance like on TV for the first time?
I still cringe.
You still don't like it so many years in.
Yeah, I'm one of those actors जो जैसे जाके मॉनिटर चेक करते हैं ना, I can't see
वो
myself.
अच्छा ही नहीं लगता आपको।
नहीं अच्छा लगता मुझे.
Hmm.
तो वो तब की बात तो खैर भूल ही जाओ. तब का तो मैं अब देख ही नहीं सकती. मेरे अगर बस में हो तो मैं सब डिलीट करवा दूँ हिस्ट्री से. But yeah, I still cringe.
You still cringe. Hmm.
All those old interviews. Yeah, old clips.
Old clips, old
Yeah.
episodes,
Yeah.
old interviews.
But I think, okay, I'm an actor. I feel that for my work that I've done, my interviews. But I think otherwise also, do people feel like that? Ki in their early 20s, how they used to talk, they don't like it anymore, how they used to behave.
I think I've accepted it as a version of me कि the 20-something me didn't know better ना, तो उसके लिए तो ठीक ही थी.
Yeah. I want to learn that.
जिसको जितना उस उम्र में पता है वो उतना ही तो करेंगे.
True.
I will maybe feel like this about who I am right now 10 years later.
That's true.
But I'll embrace that version of me like, yeah, this girl didn't know any better. So she did her best.
Yeah, that's what I want to do and I should do.
Yeah, just, your 20-something-year-old did her best. उसको उतना ही पता था.
उसको उतना ही पता था. True. And
So
give a
maybe
lot
she
of-
was overexcited or maybe she was very subdued. Whatever version of you that was whatever was your best.
Yeah, that's all I knew then.
Yeah, it's all you knew then.
Yeah.
It's all you understood of life. Limited experience के साथ और तो कोई क्या ही कर सकता है.
बस यही एम्पैथी और लव देना चाहती हूँ.
खुद को देने की बहुत जरूरत है. आई थिंक हम बाकियों को तो दे ही देते हैं.
Exactly.
खुद को देना मुश्किल है.
है ना? बहुत मुश्किल है यार.
मैंने तो सीख लिया. मैं तो आई एम क्वाइट काइंड टू माई सेल्फ.
There are times when I am kind. I give myself love and empathy, but there are times जो मुझसे नहीं हो पाता,
Hmm.
especially the older times,
Hmm.
the 20s and all. I still have to learn to be
Okay with it.
okay with it, have acceptance, embrace that part of me. Yeah,
हो जाएगा.
हो जाएगा. And if I make it a priority, now that I'm aware of it, that I should
Yeah.
do it. So
Acknowledgement is step one, ना?
is step one. True.
Acknowledge करोगे तो फिर fix भी कर लोगे.
Yeah.
Asha, tell me, how do you unwind after hours? What do you do to relax?
I have 2 cats.
Cute.
So yeah, I spend time with them. We are like 3 roommates in the house.
Hmm.
It's like that. तीनों पड़ी रहती हैं. uh, but meditation is a very important part of my life.
Hmm.
And what else? I like watching a lot of stuff.
क्या देख रहे हो आजकल?
What did I've started Mad Men again.
Okay.
Yeah, because abhi
Iconic, तो चलो. Makes sense.
I also watched Cough a few days back, which gave me sleepless nights.
ये नहीं मैंने देखा.
It's if you like horror thriller,
Horror नहीं मैं देख सकती. True crime I love.
no, it has a bit of horror
Yeah,
also,
horror
and
I
I did not
can't.
know that, and I live alone, so I avoid.
Hmm.
It gave me sleepless nights. So yeah, that, and then I'm also watching Hacks. It's on Jio Hotstar.
Hmm.
Very good show.
Yeah?
Yeah,
चलो.
very good
Good
show. Like
recommendation. I'll take
fun.
it.
Yeah, please watch. Like have you seen Schitt's Creek?
Of course.
So it's that kind of vibe.
Cute. I
Yeah.
loved Schitt's Creek.
Same. It's one of my favorite shows.
Adorable.
You know, it's like my comfort show. The
Hmm.
days that I don't know what to watch and I'm feeling all over the place, that show comforts me.
Yeah, it's always comforting. It's always funny.
Yeah.
It's both of them
That's-
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's so good. And I
Mhm.
hope that, what we see now in criminal justice is going to
Yes.
be exciting. So excited for you for that.
I'm very excited because right now I'm at that phase where I don't want to just work or pick projects for the sake of being seen everywhere or making money. Like money is a priority, but the greater priority for me right now is being associated with meaningful work, some good directors, some great actors, and Criminal Justice was one
Yeah.
such show where I had like all the boxes were ticked. Even though the screen time is less in the show, but it's an impactful
Yeah, I'm
character.
sure. I'm excited to see.
I'm excited
Yeah.
for everyone to see it and respond to how do they like it, because as I said, I want to grow as an actor and I want to keep growing and keep putting myself in in discomfort and challenges where I grow, and like working with actors like Zishan,
Yeah.
you only grow, you only learn
Yeah.
more.
No, very excited for you for that. I want to ask you something. You've not done Big Boss yet, no?
No.
Would you ever do Big Boss?
No.
No? She says with confidence.
Yeah.
Why would you not do Big Boss? Like, I get it, but I want to know why.
They've offered it a lot of times, but it's like that place is not.
I think you're too sweet for Big Boss.
Yeah, firstly, I think you never know how a person
erupts
in situations like that. And I'm a person who likes to be centered, who likes to, who likes a kind world.
Yeah.
Good people
That's
around.
what I'm saying. You're too sweet for Big Boss. I think you'll go mad if you go there.
I'll go mad.
Yeah.
I'll go mad. And also, I'm not very comfortable being so out there and showing my private life. Like 24 ghante cameras. I don't think. Yeah.
I get it. I get it.
So yeah, that is something I'm very confident about.
Good to know. Before you go, we want to play a little game with you.
Okay.
It's called Catch or Cancel. So it's the Pavitra Rishta edition. So as Purvi, you have to tell me that I'm going to give you situations and then tell me whether you would catch that opportunity or you would cancel it.
Okay.
Okay. So the first one is that Purvi is staying in a loveless marriage for the sake of her child and family. Would she cancel that opportunity or keep at it?
Like Asha says cancel, but what would Purvi do?
Yeah.
What is the other option? Cancel and?
Like you'd say, yeah, okay, I'll
Purvi would do
stick
it.
around.
Yeah. She will like sacrifice Devi. क्या
and
बोलते,
Asha would
compromise
say
Devi.
कि हटो यहाँ से मैं नहीं कर सकती.
हाँ, Asha would cancel.
ठीक है. Give up on love to keep your family happy.
Give up on love. Purvi would do it. Asha would cancel.
काफी मतलब ऐसे walk over टाइप लग रही है वो.
हाँ, ऐसे ही थी.
Forgive a man because he looked sorry.
Purvi would do. Yeah.
Would you?
No, cancel.
Okay. Agreeing to an arranged marriage while secretly being in love.
Neither Purvi nor Asha would do that. Yeah.
And Purvi fasting for Arjun's long life after they've broken up.
Purvi would do that.
Purvi would do that.
Yeah.
Asha would do that?
No.
Would Asha fast while in the relationship also?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, even while in the relationship.
You wouldn't?
No, I mean...
What are your thoughts on Karwa Chauth?
I will do it once I get married. I love all that. But...
before that?
Before that, no. I want to enjoy that once I'm married.
Thank you, Asha. This was a pleasure.
Vani.
Lovely chatting with you. Before you actually go, we have a...
Oh.
Before you go, we have a little gift for you.
Ooh. Thank you. Yay.
Some stuff for your kitchen.
I love this bag also. I love red.